Hey everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Paula. Today's video is a fun one. I have a lot in store for us. You're going to spend the day with me. We'll pick some blueberries, do a little baking, do some thrifting of course, have a haul, and then stay tuned to the end of the video for our Relatively Refined segment where we share our viewers' thrifted treasures. All right, everybody, grab a cup of tea or coffee or whatever your beverage of choice is, and let's get this day started. It is an absolutely gorgeous day today, so I thought I would head out and see if I can pick some blueberries. I think today is the opening day for Myers Blueberries in Summerville, South Carolina. So we're going to head over there and see if there are any blueberries for the picking. All right, let's go. Here we are at Myers Blueberries in Summerville, South Carolina. It was a gorgeous day and it was so beautiful there. I'm actually used to blueberry bushes. That's what we have in Vermont and what I've picked blueberries from before, but these were actual almost trees. They looked like small apple trees. So the best blueberries were, of course, at the tippy top of the trees, but there were quite a few berries that I could reach, and it was such a beautiful day. I didn't mind spending a little time in the sunshine picking some gorgeous blueberries. I did manage to pick about a gallon of blueberries, which was $15. So I'm going to get these home and do something fun with them. What I decided to make was a blueberry cobbler. And here's what you need. Of course, you need those beautiful blueberries, a little bit of lemon juice. It did call for fresh lemon juice. I didn't happen to have any lemons, so I just used the real lemon juice, sugar, flour. That's baking soda, but I actually realized my mistake and swapped it out for baking powder, which is what you need. Butter, vanilla, and some cinnamon, and a little bit of milk. First thing I did was to wash off the blueberries, although I do believe that they don't use pesticides at this farm. However, it's always good to wash and dry your berries and get them nice and clean and kind of pick through them and get out any stems that might be there. So after giving them a good rinse and picked over, I just kind of shook them off, dried them. I put them on a towel, which I don't show you here, but I did dry them off to get most of that excess water off of the berries. Then I gave my pan a good spritz of cooking spray. That's an 8x8 baking dish that I used. Then in the bottom of the dish, I just added the blueberries and a tablespoon of melted butter. I also added a cup of sugar, a little bit of vanilla, and some lemon juice, and gave those berries a good stir. Oh, and a teaspoon of flour. So once that was all in there, I mixed all that together and got the berries thoroughly coated, and then I set that aside while I made the actual cobbler part of it. For the cobbler, I'm going to add my flour and my sugar and baking powder, not baking soda. So there's flour, sugar, baking powder, and then 5 tablespoons of butter. I'm showing you my impeccably clean hands. So I'm going to put the butter in there and kind of crumble it in. It's kind of like you would if you were making pie crust. Just pinch that butter together with the flour until it's sort of incorporated and it's crumbly. And once you have it all kind of incorporated as best you can, make a little well in the center. And then in that well, after I wash off my hands here, I'm going to quickly add the milk into that well. I don't know why the recipe said to add it quickly, but that's what it said. So don't dawdle when you add your milk. Add it quickly. And then give it a good stir. The mixture is going to be rather like a very, very thick batter or a very loose dough. And then you can adjust the amount of milk that you need depending on the consistency that you get. The 1 cup of milk for me worked perfectly. It was exactly the right amount. So I'm showing you there that it is kind of like a very thick batter. Once that's been mixed together, you're going to cover your bowl and just set it aside to rest for about 10 minutes and let the baking powder, I guess, do its work. So I covered it up and let it sit. And then you can see it does get kind of bubbly, not like a sourdough starter really, but it does kind of fluff up a little bit. And then all you do is you drop the cobbler dough on top of the blueberries. And you don't want to completely cover it. You need to leave a little bit of space in there for the berries to kind of bubble up through. That's what the classic cobbler kind of looks like. It's the dough on top with some of the berries bubbling through. So I just added in that batter, and then you can see I'm scraping to get the most I can out of it. When I was in my, I don't know, I guess I was probably in my 20s, I discovered this magazine called The Frugal Zealot, and it was all about how to sort of pinch a penny until it screams. And I remember one of the articles I read in the magazine, the woman who wrote it said that her best friend in the kitchen was a rubber scraper because you could always get an extra serving of peanut butter or mayonnaise out of the jar if you had a rubber scraper. So I didn't have my rubber scraper there, but just scraping it down like that made me think of that magazine. It was very funny. How to use dryer lint, all kinds of things to save money. Anyway, I'm sprinkling the top with a little bit of cinnamon and sugar mixture. So there you can see that I've put the dough down. It's not completely covering the blueberries. There are spaces in there for the blueberries to bubble up through. And I'm going to put that in a 350-degree oven and bake it for, this probably took, I'm going to say 35 minutes or so. And here you can see that it is done. At this point, the kitchen smelled so good. The kids came downstairs, they smelled it, and they came down to see what was cooking. And there it is. You you have to let it cool down. It's very, very hot and bubbly. You let it cool down and it will set up. And now, let's go thrifting. I started out at my local charity thrift store. I've gotten several really nice things there, but lately their prices have really gotten very high. It's almost as though they think they're an antique store. But I did look around because they do usually have some really cute things. I think those are cookie jars back there that look like little houses. And I did love that coffee pot. I thought that candlestick was really lovely. And then they had these beautiful teacups, but $12 for a cup and saucer. I don't know, maybe it was worth it. It just said as is, and I thought, I don't think I want to spend $12 on a teacup that's as is, which usually means that it's got a crack or a chip or something. So I did leave that behind. I thought this set of pottery or dishes, servingware, was very pretty. It kind of looked Italian, although I don't think it was actually Italian. I think it was made to look Italian. I turned it over and I believe it was made in China. Yes, but it was called Italian fruit. I just thought it was really fun and very summery looking. I can see that if you were dining al fresco or something, and very, very pretty. I'm sort of drawn to things that have lemons on them. And I love that blue and yellow color scheme. And that little trinket dish was a Hummel. Very cute. And then that soup tureen was very pretty for $1.50. I don't know why I left that there. I think because it was small. But these German steins, I think they are, were very interesting. Very pretty. $2.50 each. or maybe $2. I'm not sure what that says. But I really loved the colors on them. And then in the back we had a couple of counted cross stitch. I think that's what that is called. Really cute. And you know how I feel about handmade things. I absolutely love them. I thought that red fondue pot was really fun. It reminded me of my sister Patty. She has a fondue pot that she thrifted, and she always brings it out at Valentine's Day, and her kids make chocolate fondue, strawberries dipped in chocolate fondue. Now, I'm not a doll person really, but I thought this little doll was adorable. It reminded me of the Madame Alexander dolls that I used to collect when I was a little girl. I had the dolls from around the world, and they were really cute. Every year for Christmas or my birthday, I would get a doll from a different land. And I think my sister Kathy might have collected the nursery rhyme dolls. Here's some more beer steins. Somebody must have donated their German stein collection because there were several of them I noticed throughout the store. That was a pretty tile or trivet. And here's another beer stein. I did really love this beautiful serving platter. I thought that would be so pretty in the fall, but goodness knows I do not need another serving platter. So, spoiler alert, I did not bring that home. This shelf has some kind of summery looking things on it with the tomatoes. That was a kind of old-fashioned looking trinket box, I thought. Very delicate. I have no idea how those petals survived intact, but somebody had taken good care of that. Here's some more counted cross stitch. That one in the back there reminded me of a school building. I think it's actually a house, but it kind of looked like an old-fashioned school building to me. And then I did love this little dish with the courting couple on it. I'm very drawn to things that have that courting couple. I really love that. And then this is probably my regret of the day. I thought this tureen was absolutely gorgeous. And for $20, it was probably worth it. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know why I didn't get it, but I didn't. I don't need it, certainly. We all know that. But it was gorgeous. Little pewter dish. And then there was a whole set of Limoges dinnerware. It was $70 for a 28-piece set, which I think is probably a good deal, but $70 at a thrift store just seems expensive to me. And there's another courting couple lamp in the back. I thought that was really so cute. There's what you get for your $70. And again, it's Limoges, so it's probably worth it. And the pattern was just lovely. That tureen was Limoges. It's that same pattern with the pinks and blues. Just adorable. Really, really pretty. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll get this lamp. I love these little lamps. I have a couple that I've gotten at Goodwill for a couple of dollars. And then I realized it was $95. So that lamp stayed right there on the shelf, and it will probably stay on that shelf for quite some time at that price. I don't think anyone goes to a thrift store expecting to pay $95 for a lamp. Now, this is something I'm actually thinking about going back and getting. It's that silver-plated cup. They had a couple of them, and I really think they look beautiful with flowers in them. And then look at this. This was some kind of a unique vase. It was in a stand. Here's a close-up look at it. It was $60, silver plated. I mean, it was very unique. I had really never seen anything quite like it. And then it is that coned-shaped vase is suspended on that stand. And then these I thought were absolutely beautiful. I love this little tea set. And I think it was $40. Yes, $40. Hand painted, just lovely. And we all know I'm a sucker for anything tea related, but I did leave that there because I didn't really need the whole set and I didn't want to break it up, and it's just beautiful. I think at the bottom here maybe says made in Japan, or it has a little stamp on there. And the colors I thought were just stunning. All right, well, it's time to leave this thrift store and head on over to Goodwill, see what we can find. I was not able to film in Goodwill because it was so crowded, but I did get a few shots, still pictures of the items in my buggy, which I will talk about in my haul. So here's a little sneak peek of what I'll have in my haul for you. So I thought I would share with you my little haul from my Goodwill and charity thrift store outing today. I showed you a little bit of footage, I believe, earlier in the video. And so now I'm going to share with you the little goodies that I did get. I did not get a ton because I honestly really truly don't need anything, but I did pick up a few things. So let me start by showing you this beautiful Delft tile. Now this is it's made in Holland. It has this little sticker on the back, and as you may recall, I don't know, a while back I saw 2 Delft tiles at my charity thrift store, and I didn't pick them up, and when I went back there was only 1 left, and I was happy to have that one, but I was a little disappointed. So I was thrilled to see this at the Goodwill, and I believe it was $2.99, and that is going to go right on my stove. I'll probably try to insert some clips of anything that I have styled, and I'm going to stick this, I think, on my backsplash behind my stove, and I'm happy to have it. It's just a precious little scene with that sweet little girl feeding the ducks, the windmill in the back. So that was the first thing that I picked up. Then I saw a stack of dishes. Now, okay, you know I need no dishes whatsoever, but these were so adorable. They were these little dessert plates, or bread plates maybe, with this beautiful pink and gray design. It's Harkerware. It is a company that is a US company. It was out of Ohio, and these are in perfect condition. They're almost like restaurant ware. They're pretty heavy duty, and one of the things that my sister Patty and I have always talked about is having a little antique booth or a little resale booth. It's something that we've really wanted to do for a long time, and since I live in South Carolina and she lives in Vermont, it's not necessarily practical or realistic to think about doing that. So what we decided to do was to open a Poshmark Closet to resell, not as a way of making a living, but just some of the finds that we collect when we were out thrifting. I often see things that I personally don't need, but I know someone would love them. And if I can find them at a reasonable price and I can list them on our Poshmark Closet, we're hoping to keep our prices very low, just really to cover our costs and maybe make a little pin money to fund our thrifting adventures, then I think that's what we'll be doing. So I'm thinking that probably these little plates will be listed on our Poshmark Closet. And once we get that up and running, I'll put a link in the description box of all of our videos. And if it is up and running by the time this video airs, there will be a description box down below. But there were, let's see, there were a stack of 5 of them, and they are so cute, and they look beautiful as like a riser, you know, to layer with. And you know I love my layering because I'm a maximalist, but these were so cute and I just could not resist. I looked to see if there were any dinner plates or other pieces to that pattern, and there were not, except for this one dinner size plate. And it does have some kind of utensil marks on it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this plate. I absolutely love this pattern, and it would look so cute with cookies on it, or, you know, just in a plate stand as a backdrop for something, or even as an underplate for a plant. But I'm going to keep this one for myself, and I absolutely love it. The next thing that I found is this kind of vintage 1970s mail sorter. Patty and I were talking, and you know, honestly, they were so practical in the 70s. I mean, this is just perfect, and it's got these cute little floral insets. It's like a, I don't know what that is. If that's like a plastic, it might be plastic or metal. And then it has these 3 hooks on the bottom where you could put your keys. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this or list this in our Poshmark closet. It's super handy, so I may I may hang this somewhere. Like, it would be perfect in an entryway or you know, a hallway, something like that, just to keep your stuff organized, or an office. So I found that. I think that was $2.99. And then I found, okay, again, nothing I need, so this will also probably end up on the Poshmark, in the Poshmark closet. And again, we're not really professional resellers, and our goal is simply to save these things from the landfill and pass them on to a good home at a reasonable price for people who may not have access to thrift stores, or who may not be able to get out and find these little treasures. So it is a set of 4 of these little teacups or coffee cups. They're by the Meyerling Company, and this is the crocus pattern. Isn't that beautiful? And honestly, even though they are not, you know, they don't go together, look at how, ooh, sorry about that. Look how similar the coloring is. I think they look really sweet together. So there were a set, as I said, of 4 of them, and they're all in perfect condition. There are no, you know, chips or cracks or anything in them. So those will end up, actually there might be a little tiny flea bite on the top of this one, but nothing that really is noticeable or detracts from this. So if I don't keep these, they'll be in the Poshmark closet. And we have some other things that we no longer have a use for that we'll be passing along. So if you are at all interested, we'd love to have you shop our Poshmark closet. All right, enough said about that. One last item. No, actually I have 2 more items to share with you. And I found these very cool, let me hold them up one at a time, vintage, here's the Made in Japan sticker on the bottom, bookends. They are horse heads. Okay, Hazel, hold on. I'll let you out just 1 minute. And there were a set of them. And again, they have a little bit of paint loss, which is to be expected because they're probably, I'm going to guess, from the 50s. Let me hold this up so you can see it better. But no chips or breakage or anything. They are really so cool. Can you see those on a bookshelf? I think they would look so cool. And look at the back here. This is a horseshoe. Just very unique. And as I said, a set of 2 of them. So these are probably going to end up in our Poshmark closet. And then the last thing that I got, which is something practical that I can't leave behind, and neither can my sister, is this huge basket. This was 99 cents. And oh, and the horse heads, I believe the pair was $2.99. And this, it didn't have a price. And so when I brought it up to the register at my Goodwill, apparently all baskets are 99 cents. I did not know that. So this was such a great score, and it's in perfect shape. It's very, very sturdy, and I know I'll find some use for this because, you know, you can always find a use for a basket. So that is my little thrift haul for today. I'm popping on here because, I don't know, I must have lost my mind or something, but there were a couple of things that I picked up at Goodwill that I forgot to share with you. The first of which is this set of 4 Pimpernel placemats. and they are of an English hunt scene. And the set of 4 was $4.99, which I think is a great bargain. And then the last thing that I wanted to share with you is this adorable little watercolor painting. It's quite small. It's probably 5 by 5, maybe, something like that. It's a little rural scene, and it's framed and matted. Very cute. It is made in England because when I turned it over, which I'll show you the back in just a minute here, it had an address which is very clearly the UK. There you see the address on the back, and I thought it was perfect for putting on my little desk. And that picture was $2.99. And here is where I have it styled. And here is where I ended up putting that Delft tile. It's on the back of my stovetop, and I have it flanking my Currier and Ives tray, which is spring, and I'm thinking I probably should switch that out to summer, since we are now officially into summer. I guess not till the middle of June, but close enough down here in the south. And that's the original Delft tile that I picked up at my charity thrift store a little while back, where there were 2 of them, and when I went back there was only 1 left. But that was probably because this tile right here was just waiting for me at the Goodwill, and I think it looks really very sweet on the back of my stove. And I also wanted to show you that I had, in a haul a little while back, picked up these brass planters, and here is where I have them. I put some house plants in them, and I put them in front of my fireplace, and I think they look great there with that other thrifted brass vase, and then these sort of mid-century looking brass deer, which we got at our local antique store. So that is how I have styled some of my most recent finds. And now for Relatively Refines, where we share our viewers' thrifted treasures. Today's treasures come from viewer Veronica. The first thing she found at an estate sale in her area is this beautiful lusterware tea set. It was marked $40, but she picked it up on the last day of the sale, so she got the whole thing for $20. The back stamp says made in Japan, and like me, she is a fan of anything tea related. Also at an estate sale, she found this beautiful vase. It's about 5.5 inches tall, and it's Royal Copenhagen. She did pay $18 for it since it was the first day of the sale, but when she got home and looked it up on Google, she found that a similar vase was selling for $74. So I would say, Veronica, that you got a great deal. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful treasures with us. If you would like to have us feature some of your thrifted treasures on our channel, just send an email to the address on the screen with a picture and a brief description, and we will be happy to feature it in an upcoming video. All right, everybody, thanks for watching today. Give this video a thumbs up and a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.